Welcome to Archetypal Atrocities, the show where we play bottom of the barrel Yu-Gi-Oh! Archetypes. Each week, Jules and myself will spin a wheel to determine what archetype we'll be playing for that week. In addition, we will open 3 specially curated packs and pick a card from each of those packs to use in the deck for that week. We are allowed to play staples, but only if they support the archetype we get, and we can only play 1 copy of them in our decks. The winner of each week will get an extra pack they open for the next episode, while the loser will get to spin a loser wheel with multiple results on it, such as choosing your opponent's deck or moving an archetype from your wheel. The loser will also be able to play 2 copies of a staple as opposed to just 1. Now that that's out of the way, let's dig into some trash. Alright, well, we lost again. What are you gonna do? Jules is up on the show, I'm up in rock, paper, scissors. We're both winning in some way, but let's go ahead and try and tie it back up with our spin of the loser wheel. Hopefully we won't get another wild card again, because I'm just sick of getting wild cards from this loser wheel. I would like to maybe pick an archetype, really anything except that at this point, because I'm just sick of getting it. Let's see what happens though. And it looks like we will be getting... Ooh! Okay. We're picking our archetype. Let's go. I'm excited. I will let you know in the next segment what we're going to be picking, but I think I know what we're going to be picking.
Last week we were lucky enough to get to pick our own deck, which kind of gave us a slight reprieve from the worst this series has to offer, but this week we're not nearly so lucky. We are back at the mercy of the wheel, and honestly, there's really no telling. We really just can't get our hopes up, we can't be cocky, there's nothing guaranteed to us besides the fact that we're playing Reptilian. At least we get a copy of Snake Rain. That's something, right?
Alright, and here we are in the pack opening. My hair is a mess. I look different from the last time because it's a completely different day. I don't have a car, so I'm able to get a haircut, but that will be rectified tomorrow, which is going to be like 3 weeks earlier from when you're seeing this. But let's go ahead and open our pack, that aside. And it looks like enemy control is nice. We get Fairy Box again. Night Beam is pretty good. Let's go ahead and see what else we can get out of this, though. On to our second pack. Black Horn of Heaven's actually pretty nice. Kind of Summon Negate. Smashing Ground. We also got Removal. Definitely not a bad pack in this one. Alright, and our last and final pack of this week. Ring of Destruction is nice. Double Summon is also not too bad, especially in a format like this. Metal Hat is pretty funny. Interesting selection we got here. So let's go ahead and toss it in the dueling book and let's make a deck.
And it's time for our packs, and we'll need all the help we can get. We always need the help, but we definitely need the help. I haven't looked at Reptilian yet, but I am not very confident in there being a wealth of playables, so we're going to need to hit some runner on these bonus packs here. So let's see what we get. Let's flip up the first ones, and okay. Well, Monster Reborn is pretty huge. Utopia is a card. I don't know if you can make a rank 4 in Reptilian, so I'm not going to bank on that, especially when there's a Reborn in the pack. So, that's pretty good. We'll go for the next one, and Mindcon again. That's pretty fun. Probably going to be the Mindcon too, realistically speaking. Exiled Force is a card, but I think Mindcon's probably just going to be generally stronger. So we'll go on to the third pack now, and I will just flip them up. And okay, Geki Break is something. Discarding cards isn't terrible. It's removal. Yeah, that's a card. And apparently, we were talking last week, and the winner was supposed to get 4 packs. I have not been doing that, thus I've been technically nerfing myself, but this time I will actually do the 4th pack. So let's flip that one up as well. And okay, Duality is a card. I can't complain because we got a Reborn and everything, but I'm also not thrilled at these packs either. It's stuff we've seen before, kind of fairly, it's removal, and it's definitely probably all going to make the cut, but I'm not feeling exceptionally yes, these packs have really given us something to go into towards deck building. But, we shall see. We shall see.
Alright, and here's the deck we're playing with this week. We got Ancient Gears. We all love some Ancient Gears. I love Ancient Gears. You love Ancient Gears, don't we all? So let's go with the card by card. It's a pretty simple, straightforward OTK deck. But, so on Ancient Gear box, you pretty much... If this gets added to your hand, you can pretty much bring in another Earth Machine monster with 500 attack and defense. Most often not being the Ancient Gear frame, which is also a searcher for any spell and trap that lists Ancient Gear Golem. We're blending 2 Ancient Gear Golems. I kind of toyed around with the ratios. I decided for 2 in case we ever want to fusion with Ancient Gear Fusion more than once. because it does need to specifically use Ancient Gear Golem for some of the better fusions and use it from the deck. So I figured 2 is the right, 3 might be a little too bricky, so that's why we're on 2. 3 Ancient Gear Hand, pretty much just a fusion spell on a monster, also random 600 burn damage. Ancient Gear Knight, we kind of need to fill out our monster slots a little bit because we were a little light, so it's just an 1800 body pretty much. The Gemini monsters just makes the usual Ancient Gear effect at one of the attacks, your opponent can activate spell trap cards. 3 Ancient Gear Reactor Dragons. Out of all my Duel Links players out there, this card was a menace in the early days. This is around the time I started playing Duel Links pretty seriously and competitively. Love this card. Pretty much, it can special summon, which a lot of Ancient Gears can't. This is one of the few that actually can be special summoned. And one of the attacks, you can pretty much has the usual Ancient Gear effect. And at the end of the damage step, if it attacks, you can just destroy a spell and trap card on the field. Very nice, very broken. 3 Ancient Gear Wyverns, the main surge of the deck. Also shout out to my Duel Links player because this was a menace also in Duel Links. Pretty much you normal summon and you can add any Ancient Gear card from your deck to your hand. That's pretty much it. And also, if it attacks, monster effects can't be activated. One of the weird ones was monster attack effects rather than spell and trap cards. I said that kind of funky. I'm only playing 1 Ancient Gear Castle, which shout out to all you Duel Links players out there. Those that one skill that just made you saw this on the field. Pretty much when any Ancient Gear is normal summoned, you can give it a counter, and you can use those counters as monsters. So 1 counter counts as 1 tribute, 2 for 2 tribute. Pretty much, if we're in a kind of a grind game, it's a way to get out like an Ancient Gear Golem or Ancient Gear Reactor Dragon, all tribute summons. 3 Ancient Gear Catapults. We do need to destroy like a Gear Town or Ancient Gear Fortress, and this is really the only generic way we can do that. So while you control no face-up monsters, you can target a face-up card you can destroy and destroy it, and you can special summon an Ancient Gear from your deck and ignore its summon conditions. We can't really destroy Gear Town because I think it misses timing, but Ancient Gear Fortress should be fine. 3 Ancient Gear Drills. You can just discard an Ancient Gear monster and... if you control an Ancient Gear monster, you can discard a card and set a card directly from your deck. It can be any spell, so like a Fusion or Gear Town, pretty much anything. 3 Ancient Gear Fortress, which during the turn, any Ancient Gears are normal special summon. They pretty much can't be targeted and are unaffected by card effects. And if this card's ever destroyed, you can special summon any Ancient Gear monster from your hand, graveyard, to hand or graveyard, just those 2. But you can't special summon monsters except Ancient Gear, which is not an issue because you're playing these pure. 3 Ancient Gear Fusion, very, very good fusion card because we can use materials from the deck so long as you use an Ancient Gear Golem, which is why we're playing 2 instead of 1 in case we draw multiples of these, etc. Because it's not once per turn either. So you can use this, like we draw 2, we pretty much just win the game because you have this giant bodies on the field. So we pulled 2, our stables we're playing this week were 2 enemy controllers because we can play 2 because we lost last week. Terraform, we're only playing 1 because Gear Town is good, but we don't have any like ways to easily pop it, so that's why we have it for some semi-consistency, also just to kind of fill the deck. And Gear Town, also one of the main gimmicks of the deck, is popping your own Gear Town to special summon an Ancient Gear monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard, pretty much from anywhere. More often than not, we're probably going to be making the Ancient Gear Reactor Dragon, maybe Ancient Gear Golem on like super specific scenarios. Earthen Schedule, because these are all Earth Machine monsters, so we can actually use this card. Which, so long as the opponent controls more monsters than you do, which Jules likely will, since we're going to want to go second because we're an OTK deck, we can trust summon 1 level 4 or lower and 1 level 5 or higher Earth Machine monsters from the deck in defense position. You cannot declare attacks until you activate this card except with the Machine monster, so pretty much we're playing this to just get free material for a Link monster. And if it's ever sent from the field to the graveyard, in case she's on like some weird back row removal, we can just add a level 10 Machine monster from your deck to your hand, which we're not playing any, because Ancient Gear Golem's only level 8. Magical Hatch, we're playing this because it actually does trigger Gear Town. It does not miss timing after they're destroyed. So you activate this and you choose 2 spell trap cards from your deck and 1 monster in your main monster zone, and then the back row you set as a monster gets destroyed after combat. So it does trigger Gear Town, so that's why we're playing this. Hopefully it'll resolve, because it'll be very funny. And then 1 Pulse Mine, just kind of generic machine support. If we control Machine monster, it's pretty much just like a no entry where all the opponent's monsters get set to defense position, and until the end of turn of a monster is normal special summon to the opponent's field, they go to defense position. In our extra deck, we have Ancient Gear House, so we're not going to be making this too much. It's pretty much just a burn spell, realistically. And if it's ever destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon an Ancient Gear monster from your deck, knowing the summoning conditions. Fusion monsters likely go into a lot. It's Ancient Gear Megaton Golem, which if it attacks, has the usual Ancient Gear effect, and if it's fusion summoned using 2 or more Ancient Gear Golem monsters, it can attack equal to the number of Ancient Gear Golems you used for its fusion material. And if it ever leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, you can just special summon 1 Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem from your extra deck, ignoring its summoning condition, which brings us to our next fusion, the Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem. This requires 1 Ancient Gear Golem and 2 Ancient Gear monsters, and then if it attacks, it inflicts piercing, and then also the usual Ancient Gear effect. And if it's ever destroyed, you can just target an Ancient Gear Golem in your graveyard and special summon it, ignoring its restriction to not be able to special summon. And then of course 1 Ancient Gear Ballista, the Link monster, which we're probably not going to make too much unless we really need to. Pretty much you can add an Ancient Gear monster or Gear Town when it's Link Summon, so it's kind of just a searcher for the deck basically, outside of Wyvern. Also, Ancient Gear Ballista is one of the ways we can destroy our Gear Town, because you can target one spell and trap card we control, and one monster the opponent controls. That monster becomes 0 attack and defense while our card gets destroyed. So it's a trigger like an Ancient Gear Fortress, our Gear Town, that kind of thing. And that's the deck. I'm excited to play Ancient Gear. I'm expecting this to go pretty fast unless Jules is on like some weird stall strategy, because Ancient Gears do one thing and one thing very well, and that is hit very hard, and since there's not like generic like Infinite Imperm or Ass Blossom, it's going to be pretty hard to stop the OTK machine that is Ancient Gear, so I'm excited to bust these into duel, and let's see what happens.
Okay, so here's the deck, and I'm not sure how to feel, honestly. I don't think this is our worst deck. I can't imagine this is actually worse than something like Cloudian, for example, but it also doesn't feel great. The archetype is fairly lacking, not in terms of card quantity. There are actually plenty of there were a few monsters I decided to just not even run at all from the deck, which for some archetypes I had to literally run every monster whether I wanted to or not just to fill space. Here, it was more a matter of, there's not much option in terms of like what these cards actually do. They're all pretty focused on having 0 attack point monsters on the field, both yours and your opponent's, yet many of the monsters in this deck don't have 0 attack points and thus don't work that way, and many of the monsters that require you to have 0 attack points on the opponent's side of the field offer you no ways to actually sneak them out. So this feels like a deck that is both like very low ceiling and remarkably bricky. I feel like our extra deck options, at least in terms of the synchros, are fairly strong, but again, there is some requirement to having those level 0s on board. But it's not impossible, especially with stuff like Reptilian Ramification, which seems like a pretty good spell, all things considered. And, cards like, Naga has some play I've seen in like progression playoffs, for example. So I know we're not like dead in the water, at least I certainly don't think we are, but I don't feel the most confident about this deck list. Our synchros are a 6 and an 8, and those are not exactly the easiest to make when your 4s are not you have one extender in the deck basically that's a 4, and then the other ones you just kind of have to hope they both you either drew them plus the coatl or they survived. It's not the most reassuring in the world, and it can kind of make going into the actually really good, and at least comparatively really good Melusine kind of difficult. So I guess we'll see. I can only hope.
And here we are, episode 6, potentially another tie-bringing episode if I win, which I'm confident since I got to choose my archetype this week, which I am excited to play because I love the archetype I picked, and also first episode of the ban list came out. That exists. That show you how far ahead we record these.
Yeah, and for me, I did not get to pick my own deck, and the deck I got was it's definitely not a heavy hitter, but it definitely feels more competent than some of the other stuff I've gotten. So there's at least that going for it.
There's that then. So I'm confident in my deck. It's a deck unlike almost every other deck I've played on this show, a deck I actually know how to play. So we'll see what happens. And of course, before we get into that, I gotta go ahead and we gotta do the rock, paper, scissors.
Oh wow, I actually got one.
You gotta let them have a few. It's boring if the RPS King always wins.
I'm gonna go second. I think that's the play.
Okay. Standby main. Going second was the right play, because this hand is the nuts if I went first. If I went second.
Good to hear.
Okay.
It's without giving what my deck is just yet, but it's just this deck kind of almost needs the opponent to have stuff to even make its kind of decent cards even remotely playable, so...
So what I'm hearing, guys, is just pass the turn. Alright.
Against some hands, that would kill me, so...
Alright, let's see what we can do here. Ironically, I don't know a lot of the lines this has going first. I don't know what the right line is. I only know the going second lines. Well, let's just go ahead and rip the bullet. I will activate the Ancient Gear Castle and the Ancient Gear Fortress, the double, And the Duel Links Classic, I'll normal summon the Ancient Gear Wyvern.
Oh boy.
So
I have
now,
not read like a single Ancient Gear card that like isn't Golem, so like pop off.
this was my first competitive Duel Links deck I ever had, because you just bought 3 structure decks and you had a tier 1 deck.
This is fair because this was me with Shiranui last week, where it was like that was my first competitive Duel Links deck. So we both went the same route for our pick a deck, I guess.
The cycle continues, so I can add any Ancient Gear card from my deck to my hand, and I will add a not Duel Links card if I can find it. I will add the Ancient Gear box, which will also trigger the Ancient Gear box, letting me add a Earth Machine with 500 attack or defense from my deck to my hand.
Real talk, I even though it's in the name, I forgot that was part of this archetype. I just was always playing it as like an Earth Machine extender. Just oh yeah, it's a little box. But right, it is Ancient Gear.
I actually kind of forgot this was semi-generic. I thought it was only Ancient Gear cards.
Nope, it is like you make the Ancient Gear link, and then like you wind up searching that guy at some point sometimes. I think, if I remember correctly, it's the agents have played like proper Earth Machine. It's probably not even good anymore.
So then we add the Ancient Gear frame, the classic combo, and in true classic Ancient Gear fashion, that will be the end of my turn because I won second.
Now, the interesting thing is, I think my statement about this deck wanting to go second was correct, but this is definitely like probably one of the better going first hands I could have opened. It's not like terrible, but like
The only downside to playing Ancient Gear is I don't have like generic spell and trap removal, so I can't pop my own cards. Otherwise, I could pop off even harder. I can't destroy my fortress. So if you want to destroy a card, I highly recommend destroying the fortress.
Tempting, very tempting.
I still stand by this being like the coolest Duel Links meta deck at the time, even though I'm certain no one agrees with me because it was not fun to play against.
Let me read to make sure I'm reading this card correct before I like completely do the wrong, awful, terrible thing.
That is a nice upside to playing Ancient Gear. If you destroy a card, there's a 50-50 chance I just get a boss monster out of it.
Well, I don't have a ton I can do, so I guess what I will do is I will normal summon Reptilian Gardener.
Woo! Love me a total.
And then I will special summon Reptilian Coatl.
Okay, I also just want to make a point. I love Gardener that you just took a screenshot from the anime and called it a day. They didn't even give it to her.
That is pretty incredible.
Actually, how are you special summoning the Reptilian Coatl?
Oh, right, Dark. Right.
So like this looks like a new one too, and it supports not all Reptilian. I actually didn't know Reptilians had other attributes.
Me neither. I just completely blanked on the water part completely. I was like, well, yeah, it's a Reptilian. But then, oh, wait, no, there is blue in that corner for some ungodly reason. Bad archetypes, everybody. Like, this is them in motion right here, defying all logic.
It'd be too broken if you could discard it with Allure of Darkness.
Well, I guess I have to now instead normal summon Naga to summon Coatl.
Okay.
But since you don't have any monsters with 0 attack, I can't do the... which, that's why this is like a going second deck. I need to turn your monsters to 0 attack to get my good effects. So you have to first have monsters and then have me make them 0 attack. Which, like, I could have gone to battle phase, crashed into Wyvern and took 17 to then summon the Gardener from my hand main phase 2. Which, like...
Broken.
Yeah, exactly, but I don't even think that's worth it. Also, maybe phase 1, so I'm just gonna, like, let me make sure. Yeah, I'm just gonna do the oh so rare for this series Link summon.
Oh, I always forget to have Link monster, and I have, like, unironically, like, 20 copies of this card, because I opened a lot of Dual Power, Dual Overload, I think it was.
Yeah.
And this got printed so much. It was like the easiest super. I own so many copies. It's like a 5-cent card.
And then I'm going to, on its summon effect, I will make your monster have 0 attack. I've gotten there finally. Hooray.
So, but it has 300 attack because Ancient Gear is boosting it.
Right. That's really funny because now I don't get to do the other echidna effect. But that doesn't really matter because I wasn't doing anything anyways, so...
No such.
Because this was just a weird hand.
The hard counter strikes again.
Like, on some level, kinda, but like, them having 0 attack is like, it's a thing that the archetype is both built around, but also like, kinda not really. Like, it's, some effects need it for sure, but like, those effects, I didn't even open most of them, so like, I can't even be that sad. Like, I linked off into Echidna and she had one, so good for her.
Also just realized he's 200 attack, that's so sad.
Yeah, right.
With
Like
no
I was reading a card in my
protection
hand, and
whatsoever.
she's like, I can't even like if you're gonna have her that low, just make it 0.
Yeah.
Because like I have a card in my hand that would really want her to have 0 right now. I will activate Reptilian Spawn to summon 2 Reptilian tokens in defense. They're level 1s. And I have to banish the Coatl from my grave to do that. So, then to grave. I will then activate my field spell, Reptilian Recoil.
I didn't even know they had a field spell. Okay.
I will target the Lamia in my grave and the... Like, I could have maybe gone for the Coatl, but maybe I think Lamia is... Because, like, yeah, I can't even, like, make the synchros because the tokens would... Yeah, no. No, I banished the right one because I can't even use the tuner, sadly. So I'll resummon out Lamia. Your guy's a 300.
Can't even beat over. This might genuinely be one of the worst Link monsters I might have ever read.
It's pretty bad.
So bad. Why is it 200 attack? There's no reason for it.
My hand was already pretty bad, so I was like, you know what? I'll make the Link monster just to like really just show. Because like the thing is, the synchros are pretty like decent, all things considered. But like, thanks to Gardna being a water, I couldn't make a synchro because they're 6s and 8s. And by that I mean there's A6 and N8. And I could make only 5s with Naga and Coatl, so...
I will normal summon the Ancient Gear Frame, so you know the counter.
Mm-hmm.
I'll activate the effect by discarding 1 card and adding an Ancient Gear Golem or spell trap to list it. I will discard the box because I don't need it anymore. And luckily for me, the Fusion lists Ancient Gear Golem in it. Will activate the Ancient Gear Fusion.
Oh boy.
So it's a cool fusion for a archetype not good. Do I have multiple Ancient Gear Golems is the question. I don't think I do. I think I'm only playing 1. No, I am playing 2.
Oh man, you got to like think about your ratios? That's crazy.
Alright, just 3 Ancient Gear. I was like, do I play 1 or 2? I played 2, I think, for this exact scenario, funnily enough.
I thought about ratios on 1 card that is both simultaneously the worst card I've ever read, but also the funniest card I've ever read. I'm running it as a 1 of in here, just in case I draw it.
I never got why Ancient Gear just randomly got a Gemini monster. Like, nothing about him is Gemini. I will special summon the Ancient Gear Megaton Golem. Once again, whenever doing the book, there we go. Okay, there we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay, that was instant. We're good now. Okay, so when it attacks, you can't activate spell trap cards till end of damage step. And since it was fusing someone with 2 or more Ancient Gears, for each Ancient Gear Golem I use, it gets an extra attack, so it can attack 2 times during its battle phase.
Fun.
So I will start by running into this Reptilian with no protection for some reason.
Alright, so I'll take 31.
34 actually.
Yeah. 34. You fool. You've activated my trap card. because I don't know if you're actually like all that big on math, but I'm actually a really big math head. I'm going to teach you my favorite formula right now.
Okay.
Damage equal reptile.
Suppose you take battle damage and only reptile 1/6+1. Yeah, that's hey, that's a very funny card.
I could summon a reptile with 32 or less from my deck.
I could
Unless
be a
we've got
Sark.
shenanigans.
Technically, you can activate it, but this card's funny. I'm going to allow it.
Oh, I cannot?
Technically, you can't, but I'm going to allow it because it's funny.
Oh, why can't I?
Because one of the attacks, you can't activate spell traps till the end of the damage step.
Ah, right.
But I will allow it because just the
Well,
fact
in
you're
that
playing
case, I just
damage.
wait till the end of the damage step then, right? I just wait for the time I can use it because it's once per turn, right? So, or no, it's like effect like I can't activate it.
It's when you would take the damage is when the effect would proc.
Gotcha.
So we'll just pretend you activated that before I attacked.
Gotcha. The only question is there like anything even good?
You can get
Because,
another
like-
200 body on the field.
I guess like the real answer, as like sad as it is just like get a Naga in defense just to like soak up damage after you crash into the other Naga. Which like that's a waste of having a 3200 attack point damage equal reptile. Just grab a 0, but it might be literally the only good option in this deck because the only main deck monster with like over like 1800 attack is something that can only be summoned through like its specific summoning conditions. So yeah, it will just be Naga in defense that will die at the end of turn, but not in combat.
Alright, you got it. We get another one, so it's just once per turn. Yeah, okay. We'll swing the 33 into a Naga.
Yeah.
36, excuse me.
Wow.
It cannot be destroyed by battle, actually.
Oh, right, I'm just dead anyways then, because you'll just attack that one again.
Yeah, I'll
Right,
attack
build
the-
Naga.
Quality card. Oh, I knew reptilians were bad, but I didn't expect them to be that bad.
Like, I guess you could say I bricked, but there's no hand with this deck that isn't one. Like the answer to not bricking is to open the one really good card and be able to activate its summoning condition. Like, I don't even think Snake Rain does all that much for me because like they don't really have graveyard effects.
Yeah.
It's just deck thinning, honestly.
Just getting rid of dead draws is about it.
I will go second again because maybe you'll have 0 attack monsters this time and they might actually matter in my hand.
Yeah, making Ancient go first is definitely the play. This is a neat hand.
This hand is just like it's so many like half-formed ideas in this hand of like the idea of an archetype maybe like it's weird. When I looked at this deck when building, I genuinely thought they were like better than Cloudians. I think they're worse than Cloudians. Just like actually looking at like my hand in context now of just like, oh my god.
They definitely didn't do much to invoke fear in me. We once again open the Wyvern.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Duel Links player, so I play this deck in Duel Links, and Wyvern's just glued to my hand, because Duel Links, they always had it, no matter what. Combo. I will activate one of the silliest cards, the Ancient Gear Drill. Since I control Ancient Gear, I can discard a card, I'll discard the box to set a spell card from my deck directly. I will set, I'll set this card. This goes away. And I think I feel comfortable enough to just pass my turn on that one.
Alrighty, I will. You know what? I drew the funny card. Return. I will live or die by this card.
Amazing. I can't wait to see what it is.
Of course, like, oh no, because like you can just. I should have run 2 copies of it. Like, because I have I mean, at the very least, I guess it technically, quote unquote, might stun you for a turn.
Okay.
I'm gonna normal summon. Actually, wait, no. Never mind. I will actually. I shouldn't do that. Actually, no. I'll do it just to show you how bad this card is. It'll
Okay.
prove my point. Because I think I've already lost this game in a very real sense. This hand is basically unplayable, and you'll get to just do your going second stuff next turn. So I think in most conventional sense, I have lost this game. But
It's a fair assumption.
as such, I'll show you Reptilian's Servant.
So let's go. There's no face at once. Let's feel. Other than. What? That's, ironically, that's actually really good if you drew that going first.
Right? Like, but was my draw for turn too. So
Oh, that card's so bad. I like
maybe
with
I will not. I'll actually play it out. I won't like concede or anything. I'll actually make an actual play. But I just wanted to show you that. I'll make an attempt to play this game.
I do also like that Reptilian, even Konami gave so little fucks about it that they didn't even bother like making unique art. They just took it straight from the anime for like half their cards.
Yeah, it's just like that should tell you everything. Really. Okay, actually, this hand isn't like I might be able to maybe eventually potentially do something. I'll normal summon Reptilian Viper. It doesn't get its effect because you don't have anything with 0 attack, obviously. But I will get to special summon out Coatl, and hey, I can actually maybe make this a synchro here.
It's legal this time.
But as you're about to see, the synchro will be doing absolutely nothing because it requires you to have 0 attack monsters, which my hand cannot force you to have, no matter what. So, while this effect on paper actually sounds decent, it's not going to do anything. Oh, wait. Actually, yeah, Coatl can be used as a non-tuner. That's the one bit of good effect text they have, is that their only free summon is also a tuner, and most of the normal summons are also tuners, so they had to like go, oh crap, let's make it so that this one can stop being a tuner so the deck can actually somewhat maybe function.
That's actually so funny that Archetype's so bad they gave him a tuner and a non-tuner. There's like, I don't even know if there's another Yu-Gi-Oh card like that, to be honest.
Like it's like literally, if it's used for a reptile monster, you can treat it as a non-tuner. It's like whatever you need, buddy. Just please summon something.
Please win a turn.
I do believe that's everything my deck could possibly muster.
Yeah, you could kill my Wyvern.
Oh, right. Is that... Let me make sure there's not like a one of this thing dies effect.
It doesn't. I can promise you it doesn't.
Yeah. I already hit end phase by accident. Yep. Yeah.
I'll let it go. Alright. I said I got a Guillotine. Oh well. Okay.
I will say, for as terrible as Reptilian Hydra is, I just realized that she has like a princess dress on and like silk gloves, along with being like a giant Hydra. That's pretty fun.
Actually, did not notice that before. I actually didn't even notice that it had like human arms.
Right? I thought there was other like necks, but no, they're like gloved, like pretty human arms.
That's so random. Alright, let's start by activating the castle.
The one that turns off all the level 0, the 0 attacks anyways, the hard counter.
I will normal summon the Ancient Gear Hunting Hound, and for some reason you take 600 when it's normal summoned. I don't know
why. For game 3 if we're going into time.
Yeah, there you go.
It's just like the pranks.
Alright, this will get a counter.
You do currently win in time.
That is true. Let's go. Okay. I will activate the fusion. We'll not banish. I'll send a golem, a knight, and there's the other knight. And I will make the ultimate Ancient Gear Golem.
Ooh.
I will then activate Ancient Gear Hunting Hound to fusion summon using monsters in my hand or field. I will use the Ancient Gear Frame and the Ancient Gear Knight in my hand for the Ancient Gear Howitzer. I will give you another 1,000 burn damage with its effect, because Ancient Gear likes burning for some reason, even though it's like the most irrelevant effect since they have like 4,000 attack. Oh, I didn't read this card right. I could have... Actually, I think I might have with lethal, because I didn't read this card right.
Oh, jeez.
I think I had lethal, but I didn't finish reading this card. Oh well. I don't realistically think it's a big deal.
Yeah,
but...
like...
Alright, let's go to combat. Swing a 47,000.
Alright, so I'll take 26, right?
I will trust you, because I don't want to do that math.
And then I will activate not as funny damage equals reptile.
So...
It's almost the same card for this deck, because I'm only going to get small stuff anyways, but... Now you didn't have lethal anyways, unless you can kill Naga.
I cannot, because it can't be destroyed by battle. Take it an extra turn.
My one chance at life. Well, okay, this is technically a start to things. I'll activate Smashing Ground.
I just realized the Snake Whistle was illegal.
Oh, was it?
Because Ancient Gear you can't activate until end of damage step.
Right.
But I'll play it out.
That's the funny thing is, like, I don't know if there's anything to play out. like I have the Naga on board here. Even with this illegal piece of material, like I can't even make the monster in my hand because I need a second thing with 0 attack to summon it with.
And most Ancient Gears, all the boss monsters do have piercing too, so you can even if it can't be destroyed.
Yeah, so it's like I'll just show you my entire hand.
The Servant, excellent. Wasky, I assume that's a boss.
Wasky's a lava golem. Like you have to have 0 attack.
Oh, so that's just unsummonable.
Yep. Like I could use Naga, then I'd have like another 0 somewhere, but like I don't have another 0, and you don't have the 0 at all, thanks to everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, nope. I am not gonna belabor this one any longer.
Funnily enough, in game 1, I drew one of my staples. Not staples cards here. I drew an enemy controller, and I was just like, this seems like the worst card in like this entire deck.
I had a reborn, didn't ever come up or matter. Like Melusine is like the actual boss monster. Like she's like can't be destroyed by battle or card effect. She's like pretty neat, but like she's an 8-star, and that requires me to have 2 4s, which is really hard when Reptilians have 3 4s in total. Skilla, the water one that doesn't work, and then the only good one.
Oh, it's just the Goyo Guardian.
Yeah, like was there another 4 that I'm forgetting? I don't think there is. Nope, there sure isn't. Everything else is a 1 or a 2.
The one thing I was sad I didn't get to play was I had a Magical Hatch, which triggers Gear Town. I really wish I could have done that. When I opened it, I think we have it as a super. I was like, oh, I was like, I can't not use this card. It's too funny because Gear Town doesn't miss timing with it, so you can just special summon a bunch of Ancient Gears with it.
I will say that like Reptilians do that one thing that like a lot of bad archetypes do, where like they're terrible and so terrible that like their most recent spell trap is just obscene. I never drew it, but like it's a double searcher that can also be kind of removal if you need it to, or an extender.
Anyways, thank you all for watching. We are once again tied up back at 3-3 for the arbitrary win-loss record. I was gonna have more to the tens, but I forgot. I lost my train of thought. But
that honestly, that's just like the kind of the vibe of this episode, where it's just like, yeah, you know, what is there to say about this?
Yeah, like... honestly, yeah, there was little to say. It was probably what you'd expect Ancient Gear versus Reptilian would go if you So those who saw the thumbnail probably already knew. Okay, well, Johnny's probably winning this episode.
Yeah.
But because you lost, you get a loser wheel spin. Maybe you can pick your own archetype, and it will be like this episode, but reverse yet again.
I told myself that next time I do spin that, I'm going to try and let Twitter pick my deck for me. See how that goes. It might wind up being the worst deck on the wheel anyways, but it could be fun. So if I spin that this week, I'll make a tweet about that, which will be out before the episode even comes out. So this whole conversation technically isn't relevant, but now you'll know in advance in case it's like future out when I first get it. So
they'll never know what's gonna happen because it's gonna come out like if that happens like 3 weeks after you see the tweet. Because we record ahead of time to have time to edit because editing takes. I'll be honest, this Soda actually doesn't take long to edit. I was gonna say it takes a long time, but this one in particular, it does not. It's very easy.
It's weird. This is the one Yu-Gi-Oh show I don't edit, so it's really oddly liberating for me.
Just show up, do your thing, all done. The curse of being your own editor, because I'm just too. I don't want to say. I have too much of a specific vision. I don't know if I could ever have an editor.
Makes perfect sense. I totally get that.
But editing tangent aside, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Have a good one.